E agora, para nos falar como estamos preparando, né, como a gente vai se preparar para o futuro de Enterprise Informatics, a gente tem um convidado muito especial para abrir, como eu comentei, né, o nosso primeiro conteúdo aqui de valor. É o Chief Innovation Strategy Officer da Philips, Chess Partov. Welcome, Chess! Palmas para ele, gente!
Thank you. It's so terrific to be here. 10 years, unbelievable. It's my first time in person at Connect Day. I had a chance to present during the pandemic online. It's much more energetic to be here in person with you. As Lais said, the Connect Day really is an opportunity for us to get to connect with you. It's actually for you to connect with one another, but also to connect with Philips. This is the largest event that we do in Latin America, and also to connect with our partners and to be able to understand the ecosystem that, together with Philips, helps you take care of patients. I think the number of registrants this year is about 800 in person, and then about 3,000 online. Last year, there was about 500, so it's more than last year, and we had about just over 2,000 last year as well online, and I think 1.2 million impressions last year. So it's a wide audience that connects both in person and online. And so it's just a delight to be here. And what I want to do is to tell you, let's go to the first, okay, go back. So what I want to do today is tell you a story about our Enterprise Informatics business, because this is something new at Philips. And I want to really help explain how this helps us to be able to serve the customers, yourselves, and our partners better. And so that's the story. It's about our software business. But before I do that, I just want to start with, in case, Philips has a really beautiful mission. A really beautiful mission, which is one of the reasons I went there. I practiced for 12 years as a neuroradiologist. I was previously at a large health tech company in the United States. And the mission of Philips is really what brought me there. And this purpose of improving the health and well-being of people through meaningful innovation is incredibly important, particularly when you think now. I mean, the world is in a bit of a chaotic state. So you have all sorts of unusual activities that are going on, whether it's a war, whether it's violence of some sort. There is economic hardship, there's climate worry. And in this era, more than any time in recent history, we need organizations and companies that come to work every single day simply wanting to improve the human condition. That is what takes me to work every day. That's what takes 70,000 people at Philips to work every single day. And in fact, this is even more important now. Patients are aging, population is going up, the demand for healthcare is going up. There's an imbalance between physician and nurse availability and the demand. Everything is out of whack. And this is the time for companies to lean in, to make a difference so that we can help improve access to care everywhere. Sustainable, affordable, equitable access to care. This is the DNA of Philips. And so, yes, there's technology, there's all kinds of things, and you'll see it out there. But the flame in our heart is this one line. And that is what brings all of us to work every single day in every part of the world. So, now, what we did in light of all the stuff that's going on, we went back to our customers to listen and say, with all these stuff that's going on, what do you want us to do? How do you want us to help you? How do you want us to help you take care of patients better? And so we listened. And you said to us, you said, care delivery's changed. After the pandemic, it's a bit more hybrid. There's in-person and there's remote. Some of the radiology groups in hospitals said, after the pandemic, most of us don't even come to the hospital anymore. When I practiced radiology, showed up at 6 a.m., you did rounds, and now our customers tell us the world has changed. Practice is hybrid. So inside Philips, our software team sort of said, okay, how can we solve that? Well, we can solve it by creating cloud-based solutions that can be anywhere, accessible all the time. They can be vendor agnostic, so they can work with our equipment or anybody else's equipment. So that's what we're doing, creating more and more software as a service. Tazi, for example, is available on the cloud here as well. Then when we listened some more, you said to us, workforce, physicians and nurses are overworked and overwhelmed. You have to help make things easier. Take out friction from the daily work of clinicians, physicians. So our software team said, we can do that. We can apply artificial intelligence to make the right thing the easy thing. When I used to use an electronic medical record, I remember so many clicks. Making the right thing the easy thing means that you embed in technology the kinds of intelligence that is circling the clinician to make them life easier for them. So our software team said, we can do that. You heard that from the customers, we can do that. Then you said to us, the world has shifted tectonically with generative AI. We see all kinds of things. We know that it's impacting everywhere. Tell us how you will apply that to make things better inside Philips. And so again, our software team said, we can do that. We can use that sort of technology to take all this data that all our customers have and convert it to insights so that care can be delivered more effectively. Okay, so all of this our software team said, and we said, awesome, that's great. So we went back and looked at the company, and we looked at the company and said, where are all the software teams? And yes, we have an amazing image-guided therapy business, number one in the world. Our angio equipment is bar none. We have incredible ultrasound, number one in cardiac, top 3 in medical imaging. Our monitoring business is number one in most parts of the world, both inpatient and outpatient. We have, of course, sleep and respiratory for pulmonary stuff, conditions, and we also have a personal health. And we all said, okay, if all the stuff that I just told you the software teams are going to solve, but they are all spread out throughout the company. And so we decided to bring all the software teams together. And what we did is we created Enterprise Informatics as a business that is solely focused on our software technologies. So what we did is we literally brought together every part of the business of Philips that was making software into one team. And that has a profound positive impact on the way we can help serve you. Now, once we brought all the software stuff together, we sort of looked at our portfolio and said, wow, we have the number one PACS system globally. We have the number 2, that was radiology PACS, number 2 cardiac PACS system globally, integrated with our angio equipment and integrated with our cardiac ultrasound technology. We have the number 1 digital pathology globally, in which Philips, as a pioneer in compact disc, used the same laser technology that was used on a compact disc, the same laser technology to read the slide and create the most incredible set of images that nobody else can match. Then we realized that we have all these AI-based advanced visualization tools that are used for post-processing. I remember when I was reading films, then we'd go to the workstation and do all kinds of post-processing. Now they're all fully automated with AI enabled. And we have cardiac post-processing, neuro post-processing, pulmonary post-processing, a number of different post-processing, 50 or so AI-based advanced visualization tools. And then in the United States, we have the largest medical device integration technology. That means that if you walk in a hospital, the most frustrating thing to a nurse, one of the most frustrating things to a nurse, is to look at data on a system and transcribe it into the medical chart. It is complete waste of his or her time. They should be with the patient. So what we did is we have integrated with over 1,000 devices that are in the hospital that are not ours. If you walk in the hospital hall, anything you see with a digital display, we can take that data and put it into something else. And so we're number 1 in that. And then finally, of course, our critical care EMR, our TASI EMR, and our EICU. So this is, if you will, once we brought all the software from different parts of the company together, We put it into one business with this portfolio to serve you. Now, this means that here in the region, it's not just Lais and her team in sort of the sales and commercial and partnership engagement part, but their research and development, the product engineering, product development, all the different components that deliver what you need are integrated together into one team. That means we can serve you better and faster and make things easier to go from what you tell us to then implementing it to give back to you. Or the things you like for us to do more of, and the things we fail at to quickly go from your signals to the engineers to make it better to come back out. That's what it means when it's a single global business. That's what it means when all the teams came together. Now, we also launched it this year, so this is really what's special for Philips. We have teams, what this slide is, teams from all over the world. You have individuals here from China to LATAM. Our software business is now one entire global business. And you may say, well, okay, so what? What does it mean to me? You're sitting here like, okay, good for you. You put all the software together. Whatever. Why should I even be excited? Why should I care? What's in it for me, your customer, or your partner? I'll tell you what it is. And these are the three things. First and foremost, the speed of innovation in software is faster than the speed of innovation in hardware. You can write code, experiment, work with a hospital partner, and see and co-create things. And if it doesn't work, you change it. If it does, you keep going. In hardware, you gotta build a device, regulatory review. So our ability to innovate with you, to co-create with you, to have our teams closer, work with you, and iterate on ideas when it's a software business is better and faster. So that means that you get whatever is our innovation roadmap, the clock speed is quicker. It comes out faster. Whereas if software was embedded all over the place in our hardware businesses, the speed of innovation was more likely to be the same as the hardware speed. Now, all the teams are basically have this mindset of a Silicon Valley startup, or a startup here in Brazil, doesn't matter where, a startup. This idea of speed matters, and you are the beneficiary of speed of innovation. And so are your patients. Then, when we brought all those teams together, now we can create integrated portfolios, because it's just one team. The EMR team, and the radiology PACS team, and the cardiac PACS team, and the digital pathology team, and the medical device integration team, and all the advanced, they're all just one team. So now they look at each other and say, hey, our customers are the same customers. We should be integrating so that everything moves seamlessly. The data is, because that's what you want. Nobody wants to alt-tab between applications. You want to be able to have integrated. So we can now build integrated solutions that delight physicians, nurses, allied healthcare workers, and help you serve patients better. It makes training easier. It makes support easier. If you're sitting here in IT, that's easier. If you're sitting here in training, that's easier. So that's benefit to you. And finally, I touched on this earlier, we're bringing all that generative AI and AI technology to all our portfolio and software. Because the speed of innovation is faster, we are planning on bringing out all the innovations that are required so that you can benefit at the bedside. So it isn't simply a cool thing to do. It was because we think you will benefit better, and it's forums like this that we listen to you and take those signals back and innovate faster to come back to you. Now, by the way, what's happened we launched this back in January, or announced it, our CEO announced this back in January of 2023. This whole year, we've been doing all that activity, bringing all the software together into one team. We've been listening to our customers. All the software product engineers and product grow-ups are all now based on signals from you, and we will bring that back to you. And we are seeing adoption. We're seeing people say, I like the speed of innovation. I like the way you're going. Example here in Hedge Door. And in this case, 13 hospitals in this group that wanted to integrate and share information across the entire 13 hospital organizations, and we are bringing our interoperability to help move data across the 13 hospitals so that physicians and nurses at the point of service, radiologists, pathologists, cardiologists, you name it, have the best information that helps care for the patient. Fungacor and Christus, both of those organizations are also taking advantage of the fact that we have now one unified enterprise informatics. They began with electronic medical records that they used from Philips, and under this roadmap and this vision are now also adopting our PACS system, the radiology informatics, and combining those in their organizations to be able to give to their clinicians, to their nurses, physicians, radiologists, more efficient and effective tools so they can get more time with patients. It's not just in this region. Karolinska in Sweden, an organization which time was of the most importance. Any of you done tumor board? I used to do tumor board all the time. So in tumor board, you got to bring radiology films, pathology films, other electronic medical data. You discuss a patient and you decide what's best for the patient. Tumor board takes a lot of time. It's a lot of data gathering. As we bring our software teams together, the work that we've been doing with Karolinska has made their tumor board 24% more efficient. They published this, that the same quality of care with more time back to the clinicians, to go back to the floor to see patients, to do work. I remember tumor board. Tumor board was valuable but tough. In Australia, Westmoreland Health, using our solutions to monitor patients at home, to reduce hospital readmissions by 53%, by these technologies that help evaluate if a patient is in a condition that they can stay at home, or if they're having some sort of prediction that they might need to come back in, to bring them back in, only if it's appropriate. And the ones that are not appropriate, not necessary, I should say, they can stay. Jackson Health in US. Listen, I can go on and on. These are just 6 icons. There are many, many more. The point is that we are seeing signals that organizations like you are saying, the combining of all the software into one team is working. And so as you go back out there today, ask us to tell you more about that, because we believe we're going to serve you better. And then maybe as a final thought before I close, I get this question all the time, and I touched on it a bit earlier. You can't have a slideshow without having the word generative AI, right? I mean, it's like it would be. But the point is that what is our point of view? How are we going to bring that? And I'm going to tell you some things here that this is the vector and the trajectory that we believe when you bring all the software teams together into one enterprise informatics, this is the kind of thing that generative AI can do. So I believe, not in the distant future, radiologists will be talking to the films. Referring physicians will be talking to the pathologists will talk to the pathology slide. I don't know if any of you are physicians in the room, you'll be talking to the slide and saying, are there any small blue cells here? As you know, small blue cells, lymphoma. Because generative AI will allow you to have literally a different way of interacting with a chart. If you're looking at an electronic medical record when you go back to your office or wherever, you will actually have a conversation with the electronic medical record. The electronic medical record will say, well, you might ask, what are the past tests for this patient? It just comes up. It's not just about voice recognition. It's about the chart through generative AI will generate a synopsis of what you need to hear in that moment in time. Patients will talk to their chart, but it will talk to them in a different level of understanding so that it would reduce the gap, the knowledge gap. So when a patient will talk to his or her chart, why did the doctor order an MRI for me? And the actual generative AI will generate a response in a grade 8 level understanding, not in a sophisticated medical term. And it'll be the language of their choice. This is the kind of embedding that's going to happen. And finally, of course, administrators, talking about prediction of how you will have a digital twin of your hospital, and if you're an administrator, you will be talking to your hospital. How's my emergency department doing? What are my wait times? What should I do in terms of nursing staff tomorrow morning based on what's happening today? It will be as though the intelligence is embedded into an avatar that talks back. The direction that generative AI can take healthcare and health tech requires that agile software, high clock speed, everything that I just showed you. So we believe that Philips is now positioned to take advantage of all the tools that generative AI brings because we've brought together all the software teams into one business, Enterprise Informatics. And we, for you, can innovate faster and listen to you and bring what you need quicker. That is why I love our mission. Because by standing up Enterprise Informatics as a vertical, there are 6,000 people in Enterprise Informatics across the world in Philips. It's nearly 10% of Philips. If you watch the presentations that our CEO gives, and he just gave one at our earnings call, he calls out Enterprise Informatics as a key pillar in Philips as we go into the future. We believe, at least the folks in Enterprise Informatics believe, that to improve people's health and well-being through meaningful innovation, absolutely software and informatics is a critical point. I love the hardware business. I tell you, I love it. But I think the workflow that stitches it all together, that makes the lives of physicians and nurses and patients simpler, easier, better, is in software. And so that's what we did in Philips, and we did that absolutely simply for you and your patients. With that, thank you so much. It was just such a delight to be here. I'm very, very grateful for the invitation. I look forward to talking with some of you outside, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it back so we get the next person on stage. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.